Good morning. And welcome to Mainline Unitarian Church. I'm Lloyd Cole, a member of the Board of Trustees. Greetings to those joining us online. We're glad you're with us. And a warm welcome to our visitors and newcomers. Please join us after the service for refreshments across the hall and conversation throughout this floor. We look forward to meeting you. MLUC is a community with much more happening than just Sunday worship. To learn more, see the list of events on the back of your order of service, stop by the video screens in the atrium, or visit our website at mluc.org. Today we welcome as our guest minister, Reverend Eric Posa. Reverend Posa has over 20 years experience in UU ministry, including almost 3 in Cherry Hill, New Jersey at the Unitarian Universalist Church. He'll lead today's worship along with our Director of Learning and Family Ministries, Dawn Star Sarahs-Borchelt, and our Worship Associate, Travis Billesbach-Scholl. Music this morning is by a very special group made up of Kate Saylor on fiddle and vocals, Nel Remetz on guitar and vocals, Jake Kairis on banjo and vocals, and Adrianne Klein and Renee Hammoud on voice. And for our hymns, Jodie Brown will join us on piano. Thanks as always to our terrific tech and media team and to our greeters and ushers. Now, please silence your electronic devices and join me in reaffirming our mission statement. Together, we transform lives through love, service, and our welcoming faith.
I wish you out of the woods and into the picture with me. I wish you over the moon, come out of the question and be. If this is gonna run round in my head, I might as well be dreaming. Run round in my head. I roller coaster for you. Time out of mind must be heavenly. It's all enchanted and wild, just like my heart said it was gonna be. If this is gonna run round in my head, I might as well be dreaming. Run round in my head. Be dreaming. Run round in my head. If this is gonna run round in my head, I might as well be dreaming. Run round in my head. If this is gonna run round in my head, I might as well be dreaming. Run round my head. This is gonna run round in my head. I might as well be dreaming. Run round in my head.
Our chalice lighting this morning is As We Await a New World by Melissa Jeter. We light this chalice today to illuminate our way toward love. Inside the womb of this waiting time, we are bathed in sounds, floating in love, growing out of our comfort zone. We experience love, sorrow, pain, and joy. There is a numinous quickening as we await a new world yet unborn. Now please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing hymn number 38, Morning Has Broken.
I'd like my volunteers who have scripts to come up to the front now. Once upon a time, God said,
I'm bored because I don't have anything to do. I want to play with my friends.
And because God is God, as soon as the words were spoken, God's friends were there. And when God saw them all gathered, God said,
I've been bored because I haven't had anything to do. Let's play something.
Good idea.
Use the microphone,
Good idea.
said God's friend.
What shall we play?
God thought for a minute and then said,
I know. Let's play hide and seek.
The friends all said,
Yeah!
They knew that hide and seek with God was always exciting and different because God was the one who hid, and God always thought of wonderful places to hide. So God's friends closed their eyes tight and counted to 10. Out loud.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
When they opened their eyes, God wasn't there anymore. So they all went off to look for God. One friend decided to look close on the earth and soon came to a meadow. As she was searching, she stopped to admire the tender new sprouts of green grass pushing their way up toward the sun. As she bent over to look more closely at the tender green, She realized there was something special and amazing and wonderful about it. So she jumped up and ran back to home base, calling out,
I found God. God is green and growing. I found God in the grass.
Another one of God's friends decided to look for God in the night. She watched the sun go down and heard the workaday noises stop and saw the lights in the houses go out. As it got darker and the peaceful night wrapped around her, she listened very hard, and then she realized there was something special and amazing and wonderful about it. And when it was so still that she could see and hear nothing at all, she suddenly jumped up and ran to home base, calling out,
I found God. God is dark and peaceful. I found God in the night.
A third friend looked on the earth and felt the mystery of the grass growing toward the sun. He stayed and watched the night come on, and he felt the mystery of the darkness and the stars. He thought to himself, Emery, that's you.
These mysteries are special and amazing and wonderful.
But when he finally came back to home base, when she finally came back to home base, she said, go ahead.
I found wonderful mysteries, but I am not sure if I want to call them God.
A fourth friend decided to look for God where people were. She joined a group of people going home from work and went with them into the store where they bought food. She went with them back out onto the street as they started for their homes. She was with them when someone came up and said, Please, I'm very hungry. Could you share a little food with me? The people readily agreed, and as she watched them share, she realized there was something special and amazing and wonderful about these people. She turned around and ran to home base, calling out,
I found God. God is loving and sharing. I found God in people who care for others.
Finally, two more of God's friends decided to look for God together. After a time, they came to a house and decided to look for God in the house. In the house, they saw a room, and they looked for God in the room. In the room, they saw a mirror, and they looked for God in the mirror. As they looked in the mirror, they realized there was something special and amazing and wonderful being reflected in it. They turned around and ran to home base, calling out,
We found God! We found God in us!
and all of the friends should come back to the front now. At this, God appeared again and said,
I had so much fun. Weren't those good hiding places? Some of you found me, others weren't sure, and others are still looking. That's okay, because the most important thing is just to play the game. Let's do it again. I'm sure I can think of other good hiding places.
and they all called out,
Ollie, oxen, free, free, free.
and the game started all over again. Children and youth and their teachers can go to their classes now, and I will meet you out there.
The recipient for our August offering outreach is our longtime partner, Family Promise of MontCo, PA, and the Main Line. Thanks to community support like ours, Family Promise has helped hundreds of families in Montgomery County find hope, stability, and a path to self-sufficiency. Housing and food insecurity touch every zip code in the county. Compassion, community, and action can make all the difference. Today, I will read a short story about a Family Promise volunteer. Sarah, a volunteer from Mainline Unitarian Church, was awarded the Gold Level Presidential Volunteer Service Award, a national honor recognizing exceptional commitment to community service. We are thrilled to celebrate with Sarah, who earned this award through her youth-led initiative supporting children's mental health and with baking and community care. Her work began at age 10 when she started baking birthday cakes for children in the Family Promise Emergency Shelter Program. Since then, her project, Baking a Difference for Kids, has grown into a regional effort. Last year, she co-launched the You Matter Birthday Bags initiative, distributing 325 birthday cake kits to food pantries across the region. Something as simple as a birthday cake can make a child feel like they matter, Sarah shared. Thank you, Sarah, for sharing your gifts with Family Promise. To make a cashless donation, whether watching remotely or here in the sanctuary, please follow the instructions that you see on the screen or in your order of service. The offering will now be gratefully received. Will the ushers please come forward?
While we do a little tuning, I'd like to thank Nel and Jake, who have joined us from First Unitarian downtown. We sang together at their Music Sunday back in May, and we just loved singing together so much, and we're really happy to be able to join with our MLUC friends and sing some music for you today. And also, I will say, earlier in the summer, David Brown invited people to volunteer to provide music, and I signed up and I said, I can lead a full service without having anyone recruited and recovering from surgery myself, and so I was like, sure, let's do it. So thank you so much to these lovely people for making that happen.
Thank you.
As I went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, fathers, let's go down, come on down. Oh, fathers, let's go down in the river to
As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way.
Mothers, let's go down.
Oh, mothers, let's go down, come on down. Oh, mothers, let's go down in the river to pray.
As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. This is for all the brothers. Oh, brothers, let's go down, come on down. Oh, brothers, let's go down in the river to pray.
As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way.
Come on, sisters.
Oh, sisters, let's go to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way.
One more time for the children.
Oh, children, let's go down, come on down. Oh, children, let's go down, down in the river to pray.
Thank you, that was wonderful. It is our custom to share our personal joys and sorrows, expecting to be heard, accepted, and supported. Candles of Community is our ritual of personal sharing and support. After each candle is lit, please join me in saying, "We hold you in our hearts." Donna Feltman lights a candle of joy as she celebrates the birth of her granddaughter, Gemma Liv Starkman, born Wednesday, July 29th in Ashburn, Virginia. For Gemma and her family, we hold you in our hearts. And for all joys and sorrows too deep for words, we light a candle and hold you in our hearts. This morning's first reading comes from the influential 19th century American author and lecturer and former Unitarian minister, Ralph Waldo Emerson, from his essay, Nature. To speak truly, few adult persons can see nature. Most persons do not see the sun. The lover of nature is one whose inward and outward senses are still truly adjusted to each other, who has retained the spirit of infancy even into the era of adulthood. In the presence of nature, a wild delight runs through people, in spite of real sorrows. Crossing a bare common, in snow puddles, at twilight, under a clouded sky, I have enjoyed a perfect exhilaration. Standing on the bare ground, my head bathed by the blithe air and uplifted into infinite space. All mean egoism vanishes. I become a transparent eyeball. I am nothing. I see all. The currents of the universal being circulate through me. I am part or particle of God. Our second reading this morning will be read by Reverend Posa.
Thank you, Travis. Before I share this next reading, I hope to offer a bit of context, both for it and for the sermon to follow, because we'll be looking at a theological subject that I believe has become surprisingly relevant for Unitarian Universalists in the last few years: how we understand religious experience. That may surprise you, but look forward to explaining why I believe that's become relevant for us, especially for us as religious pluralists, we who include non-theists and monotheists and polytheists. Can we have a shared understanding or a shared approach to what it is that makes experiences religious? Can pagans and humanists, Buddhists and Jews and Christians genuinely compare and contrast the similarities and the differences between those experiences that impacted their deepest sense of meaning and their highest values? I'm convinced we absolutely can do all of that, and I look forward to exploring that shortly. But first, let me clarify these terms: religious and experience. I'll offer a quote for the first term and the next reading for the second one. For the definition of religion, I'm using a very broad one that comes from a late scholar of comparative religions named Frederick Strang. Strang was himself a Unitarian Universalist, and he defined religion in just 6 words: the means to transform life ultimately. The means to transform life ultimately. That's the definition. And as for experience, I've found a fruitful approach to understanding this actually in a school of philosophical thought that a few of you might know, but I'm sure many others won't. And it unfortunately has a long name with far too many syllables: phenomenology. Yeah, I know. As it happens, this is surprisingly related to another and better known school of philosophy that more of you may have heard of, existentialism. I've found exactly one person who has explained phenomenology in refreshingly non-academic language. She's a writer and intellectual historian named Sarah Bakewell. Her description comes from what's essentially a group biography that she wrote about the existentialist philosophers. It was published about a decade ago, and it has one of my favorite subtitles of any book I've ever encountered. The title is At the Existentialist Cafe. And here's the subtitle: Freedom, Being, and Apricot Cocktails. The apricot cocktails are shockingly important to the story. But anyway, she writes, so what exactly is phenomenology? It's essentially a method rather than a set of theories. Its basic approach can be conveyed in two words: describe phenomena. The first part of this is straightforward: to describe. It means stripping away distractions, habits, cliches of thought, presumptions, and received ideas in order to return our attention to what they called the things themselves. We must fix our beady gaze on them and capture them exactly as they appear rather than how we think they are supposed to be. The things that we are to describe so carefully are called phenomena, the second element in the definition, and the word phenomenon has a special meaning to phenomenologists. It denotes any ordinary thing or object or event as it presents itself to my experience rather than how we think they are supposed to be. Here ends the reading.
Into the here and now. I don't know just where I'm going, but I will get there anyhow. I got this far with no direction, followed my nose to where I stand. Something is strong and I know I'll get there, sat right down in the promised land. Sister, come and walk beside me till our pathways do divide. Nothing much but love to give you, even less than eye to eye. When you left me in the springtime, so many questions in my mind. Summer's coming, it's got me waiting, but no more answers could I find. I saw you out on the Rocky Mountain, felt you on the great North Sea. It's a lonesome road that I had to travel, but you will always be with me. Brother, come and walk beside me till our pathways do divide. Nothing much but love to give you, even less than eye to eye. Comfort in the wind I see hope in the hopeless faces. Someday they will love again. People come and walk beside me till our pathways do divide. Nothing much but love to give you. Even lips have eye to eye. People come and walk beside me till our pathways do divide. Nothing much but love to give you. Even lips have eye to eye.
So much thanks to our musicians, members and guests alike. It's always good to see cross-congregational collaborations. So the best place I know to start a sermon that talks about religious experience is to talk about the first such experience I ever had. But I do want to note, the fact that I may have had this experience does not mean I expect others will have had similar ones, that others should have similar ones. And I should also note that this sermon and the topic of religious experience in general, despite popular misconception, is not, at least not necessarily, about God, even though, as it happens, my personal story is. So, it was early in the last semester of my undergraduate studies, mid-1990s, for those of you who want to do the math. And I was finishing up my degree as a major in, yes, you guessed it, philosophy. I had just started attending services at a Unitarian Universalist congregation for the first time. This happened the day after the second service I attended at what would later become my home church. It happened to be the last day of the month. I was home alone, and I was listening to music before going to a Monday evening class. And yes, I was dancing around the apartment while I listened to it. I was an undergrad. And then I felt something. I felt something like a surge of energy that was moving through me. Strong, powerful, almost overwhelming. And I do mean moving through, not from. It clearly felt like it originated from outside myself. And I got a profound sense of connection to whatever it was, and the sense that it was moving through everything else around me as well. And in that moment of that powerful experience, a quote popped in my mind from something I had just read for a class that I was taking that semester, that I had just started. The class was American philosophy, and the quote was from the first author who we started with in that class, Ralph Waldo Emerson, from his essay on nature, from the passage that Travis just read a few moments ago. The currents of the universal being flow through me. I am part and particle of God. It was a powerful moment in my life at a time when my own religious sense of myself was just starting to open, to expand. And for those of you who are wondering what song I was listening to when this happened, it's entitled The River of Dreams. The lyrics describe someone who's experiencing a spiritual crisis, with lines like, I've been searching for something taken out of my soul, something I'd never lose, something somebody stole. And I'm sure those lyrics are relevant to the experience I had while listening to them, although this does give me the dubious distinction of being possibly the only person, certainly the only one I know, to find God while listening to Billy Joel. I mean, there's probably a list of artists that could be compiled for whom people have found God while listening to their music. Now, I like Billy Joel, but I doubt he's high on that list. But putting him aside, the experience I had that evening in my apartment wound up being an explicitly Unitarian Universalist experience of the presence of God, because of the Emerson quote and my own new context attending a UU congregation. But again, I want to stress this. Religious experience need not equate with experience of God, because religion is not about God. That's how the religion scholar Loyal Rue says it. And AV Booth, could you please put up the first slide now? So he says it in his book entitled, "Oh, would you look at that? Religion is not about God" is the title of the book. And yes, clearly, from the story I just told, my own religious experience and religious life is theistic. AV Booth, you can take the slide down now. Thank you. Still, theist though I may be, I'll be the first person to loudly affirm that you can be religious without any belief in the existence of God or gods. And certainly you can be religious without experiencing God. If you don't believe me, ask any Zen Buddhist you know. So I hope these caveats reassure you all that I have zero interest in challenging anyone's non-theism or other personal theology. My interest here is in helping those of us across our theological differences to grasp more fully why experiences of a profoundly meaningful nature or quality are important. How do us UUs and other religious pluralists know when we've had a religious experience and what makes it religious anyway? Also, as I said earlier, this has recently become a more important topic for us UUs. Why? Pause for dramatic effect while he takes a sip. Because of our UU shared values. Sort of. Some here will remember that it was just 2 years ago that the General Assembly and its delegates, that's the annual business meeting of the National Unitarian Universalist Association, for those who are new, overwhelmingly voted to change the UUA bylaws, specifically Article 2. That's the section that used to contain lists of principles intended to describe what UUism is about. And what replaced it is the statement of shared values: justice, equity, transformation, love at the center, pluralism, interdependence, generosity. But also, the old version included a list of sources that had influenced UUism. They included humanist teachings, spiritual teachings from Earth-centered traditions, Jewish and Christian teachings, wisdom from the world's religions, words and deeds of prophetic people, and one other, which I'll note in a moment. The new version replaced that with a paragraph labeled Inspirations. And so now I'll make an editorial comment, and this may be only my own opinion. That new Inspirations section, that new paragraph, I think the first sentence of it is very strong, and the rest of it is useless. It's intentionally generic language that purposefully says nothing in particular, which I respectfully think was the wrong approach on an otherwise very well-written set of understandings of our shared faith. But wisely, the final form of the paragraph included an amendment. It includes an amendment, which is a slightly revised version of the first source from the old language. And AV folks, next slide, please. Here's what it says. Direct experiences of transcending mystery and wonder are primary sources of Unitarian Universalist inspiration. Direct experiences of transcending mystery and wonder are primary sources for UU inspiration. So we now, as a national religious community, are explicit about emphasizing the role of experiences in inspiring our religious lives. And honestly, the way the paragraph's written now, that's pretty much all that we're emphasizing in that statement. And we do so with language that in no way requires these to be theistic experiences. The phrase about transcending mystery and wonder is open to a theistic perspective like mine, and also equally open to non-theistic sources of meaning. Oh, and thank you, AV folk. You can take the slide down, yes. So I'm convinced that this is a profound shift for us. Though it's not entirely a new shift, the role of experience in our religious communities has waxed and waned a couple of times over our history. There's not time to trace that history today in depth, but I'll suffice to say that when the transcendentalists like Emerson were most influential in Unitarian circles in the mid-19th century, experience was also deeply influential as a source for our predecessors then. That importance of experience lessened for a time, but it's returned now. And since that's the case, since religious experience is now affirmed as so important for us, it seems to me that at least a few of us maybe should do some focused thinking, maybe even research, on what that means for ours to be a more experiential faith. Especially as we continue to affirm this glorious and messy pluralism that complicates our understanding of just what we're experiencing and of what makes us religious. Now, I've been taking this on with a little bit of independent research that I've been doing over the last couple of years, and I'm getting more focused on that. I've been accepted back into seminary starting this fall towards a doctoral degree, focusing in comparative theology, but it's intended to center these questions of religious experience. I'm looking forward to the deep dive into this topic, but put myself aside. Let me say a little bit more about this approach I do find this method of philosophy, phenomenology, to be so well suited for, especially for us pluralists, when we're examining our experiences of mystery and of wonder. Because this approach avoids our preconceptions. It strives to bracket them aside so that they will not influence the understandings of our experiences. We do not start from an assumption that God exists. We do not start from an assumption that God doesn't exist. We don't start from any metaphysical viewpoint like realism or idealism. We may, as individuals, hold those views, but when we're encountering a particular experience, we're just describing the experience, describing the phenomena, and then extrapolating what we can from those phenomena, from the descriptions of them, without trying to affirm or to deny any preconceived theory. In our UU approach to religious life, in our approach where we refuse to require any particular set of beliefs, I find this method is really well suited to how we do theology. And I'll note as just a local aside, this has been a surprisingly influential philosophical movement among Roman Catholics as well. And I'll confess I still only halfway understand why. But there are some philosophy departments that are known for specializing in this. Most of them are at Catholic universities, and one of the most prominent is 4 miles from where I'm standing at Villanova University. But let's come back to religious experience. One contemporary philosopher, one contemporary phenomenologist who has been really influential in thinking about this topic, thinking about religious experience from that viewpoint, is Olga Luchakova-Schwartz. Now, I actually had the pleasure of meeting her about 2 years ago at a conference, and I was pleased to learn that among her diverse academic positions, she'd actually taught Unitarian Universalists in the past. She was once an adjunct at Starr King School for the Ministry in California, one of our seminaries, where she taught the psychology of Kundalini Yoga. So this is somebody who's experienced at looking at different religious traditions through this lens. Luchakova-Schwartz offers a definition for religious experience. It's a very thorough definition. It's full of useful concepts, and it's written in pretty dense academic language, which I will not burden you with. But what I will try to do is unpack her definition in a way that makes some of the key concepts clearer, because I believe they can help us be open to recognizing when experiences we have that can help us be open to recognizing when we have experiences that take on that religious quality in our lives. And I'll use my own experience that evening while listening to music as an illustration for her points. The idea here is that we live our lives filled with everyday experiences, and many of them are quite mundane. Yet sometimes a different kind of experience breaks through. It interrupts that mundane flow and reveals areas that were once hidden to our consciousness. Just as that feeling of energy flowing through me interrupted my simple enjoyment of the Billy Joel song, and it added a deeper connection, a deeper sense of connection. These once hidden areas of phenomena are locations, if you will, where our experiences reach the limits of our lived experience in general. Locations of mystery, in her words. And I experience that mystery as that which came from outside me but flowed through me, separate from, yet connected to myself. And it's easy to think that we would need to work at integrating these experiences with religious meaning, and while that might be the case, Luchikova-Schwartz argues that also our minds can spontaneously associate them with such meaning. It's that connection with language, with ritual, with other symbols, all of which might have a religious value in our lives, whatever that religion may be, Buddhism, Christianity, religious humanism, etc. That symbolic connection with what you find religious gives the religious quality to the experience. The Emerson quote, springing spontaneously to my mind as I was feeling the energy flow, led me to understand the experience as an experience of God. To put it more generally, I connected my experience almost automatically with words that were just coming to symbolize religious meaning for me, even in my then brand new religious identity as a UU. There's so much more I could say here. I'm in the early stages of pulling together resources to affirm this presence of wonder and mystery in broad ranges of phenomena, and to understand the psychological clues, to be aware of the religious nature of that mystery and wonder across multiple theologies. I'm especially looking forward to exploring the kinds of experiences from which non-theists might draw deep meaning and value, and how these can affirm one's worldview from a non-theistic perspective. Again, going back to Frederick Strang's broad definition, the means to transcend life, the means to transform life ultimately, I would call that a religious experience, even if others might eschew that vocabulary. But the terminology is not what's important. I think what's relevant here is the connection between experience and meaning. Because there's great potential for us to unpack new aspects of how we can live out our UU faith, our individual lives, and our shared congregational life through such a deeper engagement with our direct experiences. For today, I can only hope that I've opened a door for you to start exploring these wondrous and mysterious experiences in your own lives, and experiences that can deepen the sense of meaning and connection with that which is ultimately transformative for each of us across our differences of how we may understand that. I hope we all can be just a little bit more open as well to not only our own deepest experiences, but the experiences of others. Because here's the other advantage, the last point I want to make about this pluralistic focus on experience. When we're presented by a fellow UU, or anyone else, with an experience that on the surface does not match our own worldviews, I hope we can do just a bit of that bracketing which phenomenology teaches, not rejecting our critical judgments altogether, but just setting them aside for a moment or pausing them, at least at first, and listening for how another's experience has informed that person's life. And in doing so, I see such promise for us living more fully into this pluralistic faith that we strive to build as Unitarian Universalists, and that we can continue to affirm one another across our differences. So may it be for us all. As our gathering and spiritual community draws near to its end, may we go forth from this sacred time and from the many sacred places where we have gathered, knowing that we are blessed, that we are good, that we are enough. Let us be renewed in purpose to embody in our lives our values, including the value of pluralism, celebrating our diversity in culture, experience, and theology, and of transformation, adapting to our changing world by growing spiritually and ethically. May we thus live more fully into the power that holds us together and accountable to one another, and that centers our faith, the power of love.
Wildflowers, you belong in a boat out at sea. Sail away, kill off the hours. You belong somewhere you feel free. Run away, find you a lover. Go away somewhere all bright and new. And I have seen no other who compares with you. And you belong among the wildflowers. You belong in a boat out at sea. Sail away with the love on your arms. You belong somewhere you feel free. somewhere close to me.